Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Immortal Thor issue 11, 2023. Ooh, now this is a pretty cool cover, because it talks about what we're kind of doing, and also what's been kind of going on in Gods. Odin's children unite to solve a mystery of the gods, and the whole thing, and there's this one bit where Tyr went into some kind of box. So we're going to be taking a little detour from what we've been doing previously. But we do hit upon the fact that there are probably going to be repercussions from what happened in the last issue too. So we start off. From that time Tyr has had but one hand. He is not regarded as a peacemaker among men. Of Tyr, the younger Idis of Snor Sturluson. Ooh. So we pop here. Far above Midgard, an impossible city hung in the sky, home to Avengers. It's like, that's a cool way to describe it. Doesn't look good, Thor. I don't think they'll put you in cuffs if you set foot on Earth again. Well, not yet. But once the New York DA's office gets their ducks in a row, that could change. For what it's worth, we know you didn't kill Dario Augur, or the Keep. But even so, maybe it's best to stick with the Avengers while you're in Midgard. Agreed for now. It's like, ooh, he's talking to Sam for it. And this is a really kind of cool scene, because we get to understand Thor and Sam's relationship, which we haven't really seen explored that much, even though it's just a small little interaction. The spell that slows my thinking in the Midgard realm is less potent when I am around friends, those who know me well and know me as I am. You're a good friend, Samuel. You are all good friends to me. And that's a really kind of cool thing. You just see his face. He's like trying to figure out the situation, but he does say that they're good friends to him, which is really important. You too, man. Sorry I don't have better news on this. You got plenty to do in Asgard, though, right? Indeed. We will speak anon, Captain. But for now, there's pressing business to attend to. Family business. And so it was, as he then turns off the phone that he's got. And then we get this really kind of cool spread, as we see all the children of Odin, well, save for a few, are gathered. For All-Father Thor had called a meeting in Ullr's Hall, where the secret fire burned and where secrets were kept. A meeting of kin, the children of Odin. Firstborn Angela, who was lost to the realm of heaven in ages past and had grown strong and swift there. Lastborn Lausa, who would grow to legendary stature, but who was now a babe in the arms of swift Hermod, the laughing messenger. There was Loki, in the aspect of the raggedy trickster, Thor's sometime ally. There was Balder the Brave, Odin's noblest son, proof against all harm but mistletoe, his death once triggered to the Ragnarok. There was Honir the Hunter, who kept to himself in the forest and hunted wolf lords under the moon. And last to the hall came Vidar, Giant's child, whose strength was as great as his solitude. What be that little bit of glass, brother Thor, as they start talking about the phone. But this is kind of interesting. It is called a telephone Vidar, a scrying device for communication with the Midgard realm. Mortal toy, then. Thought you'd have enough of such. I am of Midgard as much as Asgard, brother Honir. The mortals are my friends, though I do confess that their toys begin to irk me. So say we all, Thor. So say we all. Flimsy things with a hefty cost, built to break quickly. Thanks for the magic cell reception, Loki. No trouble, Thor. No need to even mention it. It's like, oh, come on, Loki. You should spend more time off-planet, Thor. They build things to last out there. Oh, it sounds wonderful, Angela. So much space to move. They even call it space. It's like, yep. This last is like, ooh, sword. The stars are more home to me now than the realms are, Hermod. So it goes when we flee the nest. Oh, we should go. You want to go see the twinkling stars, little Lausa? Coochie coo, yes you do. Business first, brother, as Balder kind of brings them back. I would learn why the Allfather called us here, to the first meeting of its kind in centuries, a family meeting of the Odin spawn. It's like, whoa, yeah. And I'm like, alright, let's see what's going on here. That is the why of it, Balder, for there are still children of Odin not in this room, and that gave the Allfather cause to fear, for one was missing who did there belong. And as we see, usually the tale has been told in gold right there. Here we start seeing it in purple and kind of in a rhyming scheme. It's like, what? So let us switch the mode from tale to song to solve that puzzle. Kinfolk, what? Braggy's here. And it's like, oh God. And that's a really kind of cool entrance as he's almost Big Lebowski with a Hawaiian shirt, just be like, yeah, Brother Bragi, eh? Bragi got him poetry? Bragi has been gone from Asgard since the 8th cosmos began, and I am the teller of this tale. Which then, interestingly enough, tells us this Loki is the one that's been doing narrations for these things. It's like, ooh, interesting. Bragi couldn't just take over, and you are Loki, Loki's storysmith, who took my place around the telling fire. So it must go. My hand had left the lyre, and stories need a hand to conjure with. But age can oft outshine the fire of youth. So as I take a turn, I'll tell you why. Each story told is woven as a lie. All poetry is spun to speak a truth. I don't like you. It's like, yeah, Loki wouldn't. I'm glad you're with us, brother. It's been too long, and yet compared to some, not long at all. I'm not the only exile with desire to look once more upon the ancient fire. I share that with the god who built this hall. What? What words could make the Aesir catch their breath? An invocation of a god forgot, Thor's truest kin, but all that Thor was not. No hero, but a god of doom and death. And we see purple and everything, and I love the different, like, the art style that really works for this book. Just, I love that they also experiment with colors. I don't mind sticking to certain kind of colored themes and whatnot, like your usual kind of monikers. I mean, like red, white, and blue for Cap, gold and red for Iron Man. But when you get into like the funky, freaky stuff, like your Ghost Rider, your Doctor Strange, your Thor, I love when like colors and different kind of ways are used. So we see this going blue, and you called for the children of Odin, Thor, and yet though you hold your congress around my own fire and under my own roof, you called not for Ullr. I have been gone from Asgard a long time, but have I been so long, gone so long as that, brother? Am I so easily unremembered? And he looks imposing. It's like, oh shit. Am I so greatly feared? As we see Thor looking on like, oh shit. Bragi, you brought him here? You invited him back? Are you quite mad? You fear him, lad? I have a greater fear, of Odin's children used for evil's work. That is a good fear. If even long-lost Ullr would not shirk this meeting, tell me, what's become of Tyr? As we see them all around the fire, and they're like, of course, the central mystery. And I'm fine with this. We had a little bit of a tidbit of what happened with Tyr, but nobody knows what's kind of going on with him. Our brother, the god of war, is missing, and as Bragi implies in his fine verse, to be gone so long is more unusual for him than for Ullr the Wanderer, and thus, given Tyr's oft-displayed ability to make us trouble, I would seek him out. It's like, yeah, kind of get that. Sometimes you just be like, okay, sometimes they create some trouble and shit, we should see what's going on with this. Sif has not spied him, Tyr's in no place she can see, though her gaze now reaches to the farthest star. My ravens have found no sign either, though they searched the realms high and low. Tyr is gone, and I know not where. But you do, Ullr, don't you? The Lord of the Yew chooses now to attend a gathering of Odin's children, at the behest of he who was once Skald of Asgard. There is more here than I know, and I would know it. And I like how Thor emphasizes that. Would you? Would you know as I know, brother Allfather? Then you must walk upon my road, and in my steps. You must walk into the fire. And it's like, oh shit, let us see how that kind of works. Should I have left the baby somewhere? Makes no difference, Hermod the Swift. If we fail, she'll die with a nurse as easy as in your arms. It's like, ominous much? It's like, okay. It's really interesting to see all these different kind of dynamics of Odin's children, because normally we only think of like the main kind of prominent ones, Thor, Loki, Balder. And then you start seeing how like different the other ones are. I like this exploration. I kind of like this kind of sibling dynamic that's display. Laos is a child of Odin, Hermod, and much more than she seems. I'll attest to that as well. If any Aesir is safe, it's her. You speak true, Balder. If, a tricky word, for if can mean so many varied outcomes to the game. We cast our dice and wager all the same, but do we win or lose? We're here, as Bragi was the one talking about that. Or in between, boxes. And then we see more of the kind of boxes that we'd seen in the gods' little story. It's like, oh, that's not good. A great many boxes. Tyr's in one of these, is he? 'Tis surely more profound than that. And I love this. It's like, Baldur. There's got to be more to it than that. No. Tyr went into a box, and a box is a box. It's who built the box. Tell them, Bragi. You tell it better. Ahem. I love this. It's like, give him the poetry to do it. And I love we get to this explanation. It's very hard to not make stuff like shit like this seem like an info dump, but this isn't an info dump. We get an explanation told in an interesting way. The cosmos changed from 7th into 8th, from odd to even, poetry to prose. That's kind of cool, and I like kind of seeing that. This new reality, a scientist chose. So there's a system to the weave of fate, a hierarchy broken into twos. The magic fights the science, time fights space, oblivion's against the triple face of judgment, who we hope can never lose. So these vast forces, to whom even we, the gods of Asgard, are but mortal ants, must work together through their sycophants, through intermediaries we can see. The one who acts and speaks upon the whim of order and of chaos has a name that's gained for those who know a certain fame, the in-betweener. It's like, interesting. So we kind of start learning what's going on with that. These belong to him. It's like, interesting. Could have said all that in half the time, without the rhyme. But you did not. You haven't made a peep since Thor told us the purpose of this quest. And then we start learning kind of things. It's like, oh shit. I love how Loki's like, I could have done that in half the time. I was like, and you didn't. Wonder why. What cards are held so closely to your chest? What secrets does the storyteller keep? Fine, confession time. I might, and I stress the word might, but I might possibly perhaps have kind of, sort of, maybe fed Tyr to the in-betweener. Loki! I was like, I love it. I love how we go from the panels. He's like, Loki's like, no, and then it's like, and then he's like, I kind of fed him to the in-betweener, and then Thor's like, Loki, that sucks. What? You wouldn't have? No. Right after betraying Asgard, he sells out to the Rokaba, our own little piece of the anti-all. So I swept in and put him in magic prison. No need to thank me. It's like, okay, maybe putting him in a timeout, cool. Why would you give him to, like, this crazy-ass motherfucker and, like, have him put in a box or whatnot? Eh? When was this? The question isn't when, but rather why. For Tyr knew secrets Loki wished to learn, and Loki kept him secret in return, to learn the trick of how a god must die. It's like, ooh, do you mind, like, and then I love that he's arguing with Bragi, as Bragi's pretty much telling us stuff, and it's like, I love it. It's like, please. It's like that one person that you're telling something, and then they break in, and it's like, oh yeah, and it's fine if they have something to add, but when they completely take over the story, it's like, oh yeah, I did this, that, and the other, and this is this little thing that our friend group has. Like, yeah, and then a motherfucking giant came and dicked, and took a shit on a chicken named Bob. And it's like, we were talking about, like, everything but that, but okay. And it's like a story that people either might have heard before, or have heard so many times, they're like, why the fuck don't you shut up about it? It's just interesting to see that kind of warring going on. Do I mind what, Loki? Speak plain. The point is, he got broken out pretty much immediately. Next thing we know, he's teamed up with Dream Queen and Ares of all people. So this time, when I saw a better box, a better cell, I pushed him into it. It's like, okay. Interesting explanation. Pull him out if you like, but don't blame me when he goes wrong again. It's like, okay. And then we see or pop up and be like, oh yeah, he already has gone wrong. Ah, fuck me. Eep. Wrong and wronger, dark and darker, and you are to blame. And I love that. You think you're trying to stop this person from going more wrong. And it's like, yes, you have pretty much pushed him in there. The self-fulfilling prophecy. I care not what secrets you wish to keep, tale teller, but the boxes are not only boxes. They teach the ways of oblivion, and now they teach a god of war. That's not good. I am the Lord of the Yew, God of dark dooms. I know they're coming, well. We should hurry. Aye, we'll speak of this later, Loki. For now, we must find our wayward needle in this haystack. Angela, Hunter, you are our hunters. Can you turn your skills to a place such as this? The angels of heaven can track their prey across dimensions, Thor. Such a knack is never lost. But Tyr might be. The scent trace, it's not quite him. I think we're too late. And that I kind of like. And it's better than just saying, I can't do it, I can do it. It's like, something's not quite right with him, so I can't completely track him like that. Hunter, what say you, quiet one? 2 tracks reckon I. Close and far. Tears to be found in 2 directions? How can that be? Can you elaborate for us, brother? And then it's like, he takes a minute. He's like, nay, I got nothing. There's 2 tracks. It tallies with what I sense. Tears split somehow in 2 places. One near, one far. We are intruders in this world. The furthest distance will be the greatest danger. I claim that. Loki, Angela, brave Balder, if you would join me, I would have you at my side. Not a bad team there. Bragi, you and Loki are both skalds. Can you speak to each other through that magic? Unfortunately. Our sibling speaks it brief, I'll speak it long. They hear my tale, I can in turn hear theirs. And that is true despite all hows and wheres. But that's the story's kinship with the song. Nobody's impressed, you know. It's basically Doggerel. Enough. Tyr and the Rukva have made a deadly pair. I dare not imagine what alliance you might make with Oblivion. We must make haste. It's like, yes, as they start to fly off. And we see it's Angela, Balder, and Loki with Thor blasting off. I wonder if they had the harder task, if there was a deeper danger to foresee upon their path. But you've remained with me. So really, brother, do I need to ask? You do not. I go to meet Doom, Bragi. Doom and a true death. It's like, shit, why? I barely know much about Uller, and I'm like, it's interesting. He's an interesting character. This one. You'll not fit in there, Vidar. Here, take Lausa. Not to say we have 3 liars in the family, but I'm not so confident that a toddler can hold her own against a cosmic aspect. It would be fairly fucking difficult, so yes, I agree with that assessment. Best she stays with the most powerful of us. While I scout ahead, hey, wait for the others. Just goes right in there. Bigger on the inside. Still, Tyr should be easy to spot. I doubt he's changed all that. Oh, Tyr. As we see that Tyr is now found. And at the end, whose hand is that? As he's pretty much meditating with a weird, freaky hand. God of Doom. It's like, oh shit. And then we see a thing for the next issue. In Andlang, Land of Spirits, the Utgard Odin challenged Thor to battle for the ruin of his brother, the war god Tyr. Runes are important. Aspects. For Tyr was changed by strange forces within and without, and to destroy him would come only at equal cost. This is the story of the Immortal Thor and the Innocent's End. Ooh. So, I really enjoyed this issue because we didn't just hand wave and sweep under what was going on with Dario Augur and Thor being like accused of murder. I'm glad that we took a little bit of time in the beginning to have a kind of sit rep on that the Avengers are on his side, they know he didn't do this, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And that this whole bit that we'd seen in the Gods is built to an important kind of bit, where all of Odin's children are pretty much sewn together to find out what's going on with Tyr, and that Tyr is in a weird-ass funky spot. And I think the strength of this is understanding and going through the various kind of sibling relationships. Thor kind of taking on the kind of eldest kind of one, even though they're probably elder ones. He's the all-father. He's like, let's try and find our brother. Let's see where he's kind of at. And seeing all the different kind of dynamics between the characters, they each have their own voices and all their own little things. And it's cool to see Angela doing her stuff with her tracking abilities and having her kind of view on the cosmos as well. Though it starts to kind of back down a little bit from there. Like Hermod, we don't really get that much, and Vidar, but we get the understanding of Loki arguing with Bragi. Uller getting more time was really kind of cool because I'm not really that versed with Uller that much, neither Bragi, but it was kind of cool to see storytellers kind of button heads. Uller's like, I'm going to die, man. It's like, okay, that's kind of weird. You alright, man? So we'll have to see what goes on, especially with that last bit of Tyr with that hand and like doing shit and just meditating. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? So I'm intrigued to see what's going to be going on, what Tyr's plans are, how he's changed, who he's kind of working with, and what their motivations are, and how that kind of ties in with Utgard Odin, and how Thor will be attempting to try and rescue his brother, and how the rest of the Odin children help out and factor into that. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.